Yo, yo, riddle me this. Welcome back. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Been around these here parts before? Welcome back. Peep, is marriage just a piece of paper? Is marriage worth it anymore? Um, are people just out here checking out on marriage lately for different reasons, for whatever reason? What do you guys think? I know this is a sticky subject for a lot of young people that's, late teens, early 20s, just coming into the working force, coming into the real world, thinking about relationships and stuff like that. But is marriage just pointless or just a piece of paper or whatever? I don't know. Pick y'all's brain. What's y'all thoughts? Give me some comments down in the basement. Let me know what's good. But speaking of that, I'ma tap into the whatever pot and we gonna bust this one down together and see what y'all think. I'm gonna give my point of view. Y'all comment what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and rock out with this one. See what they're talking about. Let's go. Is marriage just a piece of paper? Is marriage worth it? Here we go.
The foundation of marriage is a religious one, and I'm not a particularly religious person. And as far as where religion or marriage applies today, it's pretty symbolic. It's a piece of paper and a trip to the courthouse, and I don't find it necessary. It may become necessary in life for taxes and healthcare and dealing with children and properties, but just foundationally, I don't think it's the most important thing. Real commitment comes from that relationship that you share with your partner, kids, communication, and what you've both decided is real. That piece of paper doesn't really do much, in my opinion.
What about prenup?
Prenups now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
So you-
prenuptial agreements
So you think it's,
personally.
okay? So what happens if somebody cheats and like somebody wants to go away, and he decided he want to leave you? He want to see you anymore. He's just gonna leave you with two kids, and what you gonna have left?
Well, personally, I make money, so
She's a boss
I'm
babe.
gonna have
She's a
I'm
boss
gonna have
babe.
plenty of money to handle myself, and he makes plenty of money himself. And I realize that it's totally a situational thing. My situation permits that I don't need to be married, and I don't need a prenuptial agreement in order to support myself in life. So I'm not worried.
Yo. Yo. I don't know, maybe I'm just old and outdated, but I guess I can say it triggers me. It triggers me when I see a lot of these young people talking about making their own money and having their own money. It just leads me to thinking like, what kind of money are they talking about? What kind of income are they really talking about? What kind of sustainable income they really have? Because like again, I'm looking at some of these folks. Usually on this panel in particular with whatever podcast, he usually have some really relatively young females on here. But it always gets me when they start talking about their money and how much they make and their income and you know she off the break is talking about how much money she's gonna have. Like I said, again, I don't know these people. I don't know nothing of these people. So this is just me thinking out loud. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying. This is just my conscious thoughts and the way I think. When I hear people talking like this, I wish I could see proof. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doubting. I just show me the proof. Like the movie, show me the money, show me the money. You know what I mean? Show me the money, show me the proof. Just saying.
Sorry. You also don't necessarily need to like do the whole courthouse license thing to be married and have a ceremony and do your own thing on like I understand the whole religious side too. And for me and my fiance, for example, we're not even sure if we're gonna actually legally get married just because like the government honestly owns your marriage at that point and it's just a lot of technical crap. I don't know. We may though, just because yeah, it does kind of help with taxes and a lot of other stuff. I don't know, but regardless though, that's why he and I already kind of feel like we're married because it doesn't. The piece of paper
Oh my God. Is that what the government doing now? Government owning marriages now? Did I miss something? It's a lot of confusion and misinformation going on in this world today, bro. Is that what the government is doing now? Only a marriage and have a lot of stuff. Last I checked, people get married and get divorced, and if anything, one party end up getting riding off into the sunset better than the other party. All this government owning your marriage and confusion and all that stuff. I don't know what that's all about. Somebody help me in the comments, educate me, teach me something, cause maybe I'm missing something. I never heard of that whole whatever she's talking about. The other young lady on the end that's gonna have a whole lot of money. She's talking about she wouldn't do a prenup or she not gonna do prenup or whatever, But she referenced it like she's not gonna deal with no prenup or whatever. But here's what's funny. She started off saying she got her own money, she make her own money, she's gonna have a whole lot of money. And this is just good to show again, like I said, I be calling cap on a lot of these young folks, because these folks young. And I think they got a lot of misinformation and a lot of clouded judgment because it's too much information out here. It's too much access to all these different podcasts and everybody's saying this. A lot of these folks are confused. They don't know their head from their ass. The one on the end talking about the prenup thing, like she's not gonna do prenup, but she's saying she's gonna have a whole lot of money. Does she not know that prenup is to protect your money, your assets, and stuff in a marriage if things go wrong? Well, she says she's not gonna get married, but still, let's say she was to get married or something, because a lot of these folks say one stuff now and then you see them. If you was to see them 10, 15 years later, I almost guarantee they would be singing a whole different tune. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of confusion out here, and I feel bad for these young folks, man. I feel bad for them, bro. And a lot of this confusion really start here in this Western world, in this Western society, with you know the way the divorce shit is set up towards men in particular, where men usually walk away with nothing. The tide is turning now, where a lot of men are really, you know, I hear a lot of women saying they don't want to get married, they're not getting married, but really and truly, men are the ones that control marriage. If ain't nobody asking a woman to marry her, who's marrying her? Men are the ones that gotta find you and see you as a wife before you even get married. You can't just say you want to get married and wake up and go grab a man and get married. That man gotta want to marry you. So a lot of times when these females say they ain't gonna get married, it's like I be thinking, honey, you don't control that. That's not in your control. You control sex. You don't control marriage. You don't get to see, when you want to get married. No, that's up to a man to choose you as a wife, first of all. So, anyway, let's keep it cracking.
Paper doesn't necessarily matter either, but I do understand where you're coming from because it is a lot of, like, I don't know, the government has control, the courts have control of your marriage. They basically own it at that point. And it's not really what marriage is about. It's about a union of two people, really.
Do two W-2s make a W-4?
Yes, it's a lot of mixed information and a lot of confusion going on nowadays. These young folks, they're really struggling to figure it
Government
out.
involvement is very strange to me, but also I do think the institution of marriage does allow you to safeguard yourself. Say if you need a prenup, and that's important for some women. So yeah.
You want to get married.
Yes.
What if your husband, or well, your future husband, says, "Hey, I want a prenup"?
No problem.
Oh, you're fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, all right. Because there's definitely some women who, if the topic of a prenup is broached, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you don't think it's gonna last?"
No, I think there's no guarantees in life, so I think
Okay.
it's more like a necessity rather than
Okay.
if I want
Well,
that or not.
what I've heard, and I think I'd like to get an attorney on to consult on this, but a divorce attorney. Prenuptial agreements can get thrown out. So even if you do have a prenuptial agreement, I mean, I think Dr. Dre had a prenuptial agreement with his wife, and they were still able to like pierce through it. So I don't know the total details of that, but they can definitely be thrown out. They're not bulletproof, and yeah, I just think marriage is an L in today's day and age. I mean, there's obviously the tradition component if you're religious, but you know, when it comes to the government involvement and the potential financial ramifications of having to unwind a marriage, it does not make sense. So don't get married, guys. Don't do it. You do, but you could have a life partner, for example, but you just don't need the government involved in
Exactly
that.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
And fully want
Based.
the whole white picket fence. We are husband and wife, but I just don't feel the need to go and sign some paper that lets them know that we are.
Yep. Also, by the way, guys, there's something called common law marriage. So,
Nicholas
Nick,
Bailey,
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
$99.99.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
This whole don't get married thing is really more so geared towards men, because men finally waking up and finally realize that men tend to lose a lot more than women do. So this is more so men just checking out and getting married, and I guess some women starting to sing the same song because they feel like, you know, and then a lot of, like, you know, the manosphere, the red pill society, you know, it's got young men and everybody looking at this marriage shit and saying, to hell with it, I'm not getting married. But if you really think about it, I won't even say so much that men checking out on marriage per se. I just feel it more so men are checking out on marriage here in the West, because of the Western ideology and feminism and the way this society and the system set up here in the West, in the U.S. I'm in America. That's what men are really checking out from, this Western marriage situation here in the West. If you was to put a lot of these men in other parts of the world, other countries where stuff is a little different, these men are getting married. And again, a lot of the reason why men are basically checking out the marriage is they're not really checking out the marriage per se. They're just checking out of this system that's the way it's set up here in the West towards men, because men lose a lot more than women do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from the women's part, you know, a lot of them saying, I still think a lot of them saying that stuff because they see a lot of men saying it. So they're just jumping on the wagon type, like, yeah, I'm not getting married. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, marriage and weddings and these things, it's really a woman thing. Because women really dream about wedding and marriage and shit from their little girls, man. Let's be honest. They fantasize on that stuff from little girls. Men don't do that shit. But what do I know?
For the response.
Well, hey, thank you for the big super chat, man. Appreciate it. If you want to do it through Streamlabs, I'll even be more appreciative. But thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, in certain states, there's something called common law marriage. And if you've been cohabitating with someone for a certain period of time, there might be, I think, some other components to it. But basically, the government will view you as essentially married, and you would still be on the hook for alimony. And
So you don't want to be on the hook.
I don't want to be on the hook.
Yeah, as a man.
Well, I'm talking about common law marriage, but
Yeah, but you as a man will be on the hook if you will be married for
well,
that
I
amount
don't.
of time.
California is not a common law marriage
It
state,
is,
but
no?
no, it's not common law marriage.
Okay.
It's I don't know which ones are, but you may want to Google that, gentlemen, if
I'm
you
in
are. but
Maryland.
What do you
Maryland,
lose
we
by
common
getting,
law marriage.
like,
Maryland.
married?
What do you lose?
Yeah, what do you lose?
Everything. No. Not everything.
Why?
I
but-
hear
For
that so much
example?
these days. Everyone I talk to that's married, even people that, even just like adults that I meet in my life, they're like, oh, by the way, don't get married. You're young now. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, blah blah blah. I'm like, what do you lose?
money.
That's the only
Alimony.
concern.
There's certainly, especially, you know, look, if you're in a 50-50 relationship, even then there can be, you know, there can be some there can be a contentious divorce, and then you're spending, even if the money isn't going to your partner, there's a dispute, and
Again, man, this shit really stem from this American style, Western world style of bullshit, bro. Because this place is so built on greed and money and lust and vanity and stupid shit that that's this is where we're at now. Because everything is so set up, and people can just sue people for some frivolous, stupid ass, dumb as shit people can get sued for in this country. You know what I'm saying? It's like this country got so much bullshit laws protecting bullshit stuff and enabling people to do bullshit stuff. This is the end result. And like I said, if you take it away outside of the US and outside of this Western world where people have this mindset of certain way of thinking, a lot of people will be down with marriage. Yeah, people checking out the marriage here in the West, here in the US in particular, because of the fuckery. But generally speaking, people want to get married, bro. You know what I'm saying? You take away all the bullshit, and like I say again, it really stems from the fact that men just got tired of being dicked over. That's how the whole prenup thing get pushed a lot, because men are like, man, they gotta protect their assets. Because men gotta work to make something of themselves. So, you know what I mean? Not saying women don't work and get their shit up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying men just tend to lose more, and I've always tend to lose more. So this whole not getting married and fuck marriage really comes from men. A lot of women just kind of jumping on it because they figure, well, ain't nobody, I'm not getting married. You know what I'm saying? All these podcasts now with all this manosphere and all this thing, yeah, these dudes pushing that don't get married to these younger dudes, and they paying attention, they listening. These motherfuckers is not getting married. So that's where we at, y'all.
legal disputes are incredibly expensive. So there's that concern. Obviously, you have to pay the lawyer to, go through the divorce. There's a time period. What do you lose? I mean, you lose the house. You lose half your shit. It depends. Look, alimony is kind of.
He's saying he needs to emphasize that most time men lose these shits. Most of the times. Women do lose too sometimes, but most of the times men are the ones that lose. That's why again, I'm gonna say it again. This fuck married, not get married shit is mostly coming from men that say fuck it, we're done. So, women just pretty much have no choice to really say the same thing now, because let's be honest, if men don't ask women for their hand in marriage, who is marrying women? Nobody. Women can say they want to get married all they want, but unless a man asks them to be his wife, who they marrying to? Themselves?
Calculated based on how long you've been with the person. So it's not like you've been married for 9 months and you're going to be totally financially wrecked, but it's still going to be an L at the end of the day. So
it's just about money.
Yeah, and not having the government involved in your life, because then you're in the court system. In the court system, there's a anti-male bias in the court system.
$100.
Thank you, Martin.
Brian, I'm an attorney, although not a divorce lawyer. It is a fact that prenups are more for asset and resource allocation, not precluding one party from their fair share. It's not like the movies at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some different things on the prenup thing. My understanding is the prenup can address assets prior to the start of the marriage. But I don't think it can address, maybe I'm wrong on this too. If you guys made something together, or you came into wealth after the marriage, I don't know if prenups can address that.
If you're a speaker, call.
Yeah. I'd say again, it's a wash, man. This marriage thing in the West is a wash. You know what I'm saying?
To it already wealthy,
It's a wash.
I don't know if you know anything more on this.
No, I've never even considered, not getting married as a form of, or marriage as a form of loss. I just view it as an unnecessary step in my life structure. So I'm not really focused on alimony or prenups or anything
Sure.
like that.
All right. Yo, Martin, by the way, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and can you please confirm what kind of attorney you are? I want to guess you're a maritime law attorney, perhaps an aviation attorney. I think you might be a tree attorney. Do you guys know about tree law? That shit's crazy. Motherfuckers, not you guys, just motherfuckers think that trees aren't expensive. But you hear these disputes with neighbors, the neighbor cuts down a tree, and you got to replace the tree. That's like $100,000.
That's a lot of money.
So I think
Just
Martin,
like marriage, a lot of money.
Martin is a tree lawyer, an arbor lawyer or some shit. Okay. So did anyone else have any further thoughts on this whole marriage thing?
I think I have.
See, that's the fuckery with America right there, bro. I ain't never hear so much bullshit, yo. Is that a California thing? Maybe it is. I don't know. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. This place got so many laws that pertain to so much bullshit. It's just a boatload of just bullshit, bro. The shit is exhausting. The amount of bullshit, bro. On God. But I think I'm pretty much over this because I could say a lot more on this one, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it. But it was a decent convo. You know what I'm saying? It was a decent conversation. But yeah. Like I said, I think marriage is a wash, and it's more so geared towards the fact that a lot of men just start to finally wake up and say, "Man, we're done," because men are getting taken to the cleaners, been getting taken to the cleaners. Always coming out as a negative. Most of the times, women do get lose sometimes. Sometimes not as much as men. Definitely not as much as men, but yeah. So, and I think now a lot of females just pretty much saying the same thing because they see a lot of men saying they ain't getting married, so they just say, "I ain't getting married." I don't know if some of them realize the man got to come ask them to get married, so they just say, "Well, fuck it, if the man ain't getting married, I guess I ain't getting married," which is whatever. But yeah, man, it's this it's this Western world, man, this Western society, because you go on the other side of the world, man, where people think different and move different and live by different rules and laws and stuff. They're not singing this tune towards marriage. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much want to get married and build a legacy and have a family and be alright. But where we at here in the US, shit's so upside down ass backwards that people are like, "Nah, bro, I can't do it, because I'm losing everything when I do it." I don't blame folks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna really sit here too and say that there's all the marriages is failed or there's not good marriages. Here is a lot of people living decent marriages in right now. A lot of people happily married. But I think so much destruction and it's being tainted so much where it's getting a bad rep to where young people now are coming up and they're looking at all these horror stories and they're seeing what happened to these celebrities like Dre and a lot of other, big celebrities. We see it all the time on TMZ and, in the news, whatever. How much money and the kind of ridiculous amount of money, alimony and the losses of assets and shit. People seeing that shit and it's just scaring the shit out of the average folk. Like, again, I can't stress enough. Dudes, because men are just seeing how much men lose. That is why, again, I said this shit really started with men saying, "Fuck it, we're not getting married." And now women just saying it, I guess, just to say it. But really and truly, it's the men that's just like, "Yeah, we ain't getting married, bro." Not here in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's still people that have successful marriages. And I think, too, that it's so much noise because all these podcasts, and this is all you see now when you talk about marriage, this is what you see. These negatives, these podcasts and all these shows about reasons why you shouldn't get married. Whole time there's a whole demographic of people that's happily married and living their best life in their marriage and just chilling, but they ain't got time for the noise. And in some sense, that's probably the best thing to do. Just stay out of the bullshit, enjoy your marriage, and ride off into the sunset and be happy. So, from a person that's coming into the world and want to get married, all they're seeing is this negative about marriage because they're not seeing these people in successful marriages broadcasting how successful it could be. All they're seeing is this other stuff. So now, of course, everybody's saying, "Oh man, I ain't getting married," which is cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. It's cool. The people that get married, keeping quiet and enjoying the marriage, that's cool too. Maybe to some extent, maybe they should talk about their experiences in a positive light. But I think the negative noise would drown it out, to be honest. Because I think it's too far gone now, and people just lean on what they see celebrities do in this country and how celebrities move. And with all these losses, these negative, these people see a lot of these celebrities and well-known people take, they mind already said that they ain't doing it. So even if the people that's in the successful marriages and stuff was to come and speak out, I don't think it would do much help, honestly. That's just my thoughts. But anyways, man, that's a wrap for this one. We can wrap this up. Y'all go ahead and leave some comments. Tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.